Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect. How are you doing?
All right, man. I'm Kevin Harrington. Welcome to our program here. It's Pitch Investors Live. Great to hang out with you. And I think you got, from what I understand, something pretty exciting in the beer industry, right?
Yeah, I mean, the beer industry is not going away. When people are happy, they drink a lot of beer. And let me tell you, when people are depressed, they drink more beer.
Okay. So, Robert, for those that are out there right now, I always like to just give a quick little overview. Pitch Investors Live is a very dynamic company. We have a group of very high-tech leaders and founders that have created this kind of pitching arena where entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking to raise capital, that have a little bit of already distribution. You're in some markets. We're going to be hearing a little bit about your story here, but I'm here. You may recognize me as one of the original sharks from Shark Tank. So I love to take pitches. I've taken tens of thousands of pitches in my life, literally over 50,000, and I'm this so far in 2018 I've taken thousands of pitches, but I'm looking for very specific investments, very specific entrepreneurs, and that's why people come to Pitch Investors Live. It's a great outlet, a great forum, a great platform, utilizing blockchain to be able to pitch not only to me but to other investors. And thank you for being part of our program today. I'm going to turn it back to you, Robert, and I'm going to ask you us is good a pitch, and I'll say it this way: give me the perfect pitch. Okay?
Yeah, will do. Thank you so much again for having me on, and I'm really excited because I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. Watched you for years. Met a guy from BuzzPop. He said you guys are friends. Coco Vinny, I met in Las Vegas at Life is Beautiful. So there's a lot of great synergy between you and I.
Some cool stuff. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but as far as Palmia goes, we kind of in a class of its own. We went to a distributor and he looked at our product and tasted our product and said, you're kind of in a subcategory of itself because of its all-natural flavoring, the calorie profile, which is 90 calories. But more importantly, it's striking to the millennials, the 21 to 45-year-olds who are looking for something natural. They're looking for something better. Our biggest competitor is Bud Light Lime, Leinenkugel, which is filled with artificial flavors, sweeteners, and their calories are at 115 to 130. Ours comes in a little under 2/3. So how we got started is I came to the rum industry, and I had a company with some friends who we manufactured an all-natural rum. From there, I learned so much. I learned what it takes to get into a store. I learned about distribution. I learned a lot, and I failed. It was great. I set up perfectly for this company, Palmia, which is, again, 100% natural. So I come from that space. Before that, I was in the medical route, and I was a chiropractor for years. So I'm all about natural. I'm all about making people feel good. And when you drink something, we want people to think, this is my beer. And I really believe that we've got that with this beer called Palmia. So let me get back a little story. It all started when David Epstein, a friend of mine, went to Spain, Mallorca, Ibiza, and everyone was drinking these claras, which is lemonade and beer. And what happens when you do that, you dilute the beer. So you're getting a watered down beer that tastes good, but unfortunately it's filled with carbohydrates and sugar. People who are worried about the sake of sugar or diabetes, this is the first beer that they're going to actually be able to enjoy without having that worry of a very high carbohydrate or high calorie. That's where it started in Spain. We brought it back here. My partner, the founder, I'm the CEO, made this product perfect. The first version he redid wasn't so perfect, but again, it's about trial and error. And when I got a hold of the product, we started making the product, I hit the street and I went to every store possible just to see if they would even listen to me. But because I had the relationship, they said, of course we're going to listen. Like, let's see what you got. I even took it to some of the biggest distributors, which was great to get noticed them because it made me work even harder to get into more stores. Now, our biggest store, our biggest potential is obviously Safeway. We just got that authorization as of yesterday.
Who's that?
Safeway.
Safeway?
Yeah, you've heard of it?
Sure.
A little over 1,500 doors. But before that, I took it to everywhere. I even sent in samples to Target in Minneapolis without a label, just the product with our new labels. Like, look, I think we're onto something. I think you'll like it. The 90-calorie profile, all natural flavor. Take a gander at it. And we got a reply back that we don't want it in one store. We'd like it in all stores. So that's one validation we got, which was incredible, that said, look, we're onto something. And then we started building on that, started going to these beer festivals, which is getting people to taste the product. Here's a little trophy we got called the People's Choice Award.
Okay.
That was at one of the biggest festivals this year, and we crushed it. People loved it, and with that, we got more eyes on us. We met with a guy from NBC called Press here, and he wanted to interview us because of the story. And we're building on momentum. We're a little over 11 months old, and we're in really great markets like Whole Foods, Sprouts, Mollie Stones, you name it. And the more validation we get, the more eyes we're getting on. That's giving us more distribution.
Okay. So a couple of questions. I've been taking some notes as you've been talking. So you're 11 months old. How many retail outlets are you in? And are you getting reorders, and what's the history of getting into stores, moving it through? Are you getting into any that aren't reordering and you're shut down then? Or, walk me through the distribution and the movement through retail.
Right. Great question. Getting on the shelf is half the battle. It's got to move off the shelf. You got to get reorders. That's why initially for the first, 7-8 months, we were self-distributing, meaning I would pack up 15 cases in my car and delivering it to each account, praying that they're going to sell them or promote us or put us in a flyer. When you're that small of a company and you've got so many other products that are on the shelf, it's hard to know who you are unless people realize it, they see it, they re-see it, and then they buy it. The best thing we've done so far was BevMo. They allowed us to do an in-store tasting. They have a license. And by doing that in 3 hours, we sold 10 cases. So it was because of that, because of our tasting at these beer samples or beer festivals, is when people are asking, where do I get it? So the reorders are great. We're in over 200 accounts now. We're in some really popular, trendy, as we call them, restaurants here in San Francisco. Tacolicious is probably one of the most visited. De La Rosa, fantastic restaurant. Their reorder rate is 15 cases every order. So we know we're moving product.
Yeah. What are your sales at this point?
Our sales, so again, for the first 7-8 months, we were self-distributing. There's only so many doors we could get into, but I've moved over 20 pallets in the car with our distribution. That just happened just a few weeks ago. We've already moved another 15 pallets. So we're looking at about $43,000 over the last few months, and we're aiming to do the next quarter about $51,000, which is better than our projection.
Okay. And how is everything being funded at this point? If you got to order inventory, what are your minimum quantities? who's funding all this? Where's the money coming from
Right.
now?
So the initial funding was it was a friends and family round, which was $235,000, and that got us to all the legal version 1.0 and getting some product out to stores. We did another round on a crowdfunding site called WeFunder, and we actually went live yesterday morning, and in less than 48 hours, we've already raised almost $100,000.
That's pretty amazing. Yep, good number.
I think it's validation that we're doing something good. But so our future raise, we're looking to do a crowdfund, which yearly you can do $1.07 million for the non-accredited investors. But we'd like to go after the accredited investors and raise $5 million so we can use that money on sales and marketing and hire some sales reps that will take really good care of our account.
Okay, so let me, I want to step back a second, and it's my job as taking these pitches to give you sort of a critique on your pitch, because I've taken a lot of pitches, and I want to give you some constructive thoughts for the going forward situation here. And the last thing you just told me about this crowdfunding is pretty impressive. So let me I'm going to jump back now just to kind of give you a little bit of a critique on the pitch, okay? Because I think you started off by telling me that our competitor, I think you said, was it Bud Light?
Bud Light is one. Okay. Bud Light Lime, to be exact.
I mean, so now as an investor, as a shark, my initial reaction is going to be, okay, wait a minute. If that's your competitor and that's who we're up against, I'm out. Okay. Because I don't want to go head to head with Bud Light. Right. I mean, I know you're just talking about the industry, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's, you're getting distribution into Whole Foods and Sprouts and some of these other places because you have a healthy product. I mean, there's a big micro brew kind of industry out there, isn't
Correct.
there? You're not. Are you classified as a microbrew, or is this just your own product?
No, we are not considered a microbrew because we want to exceed the number of kegs per year. We do co-pack in a factory in Wisconsin, and we'd like to, obviously get this out to the masses. But we're really focusing on the area we know best, which is San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, so I mean, I think what I'm saying here is, I'm a facts and figures type of guy. I like to hear numbers, and the beer industry is huge. There's been a lot. You've got at the high end of the market, you got the Budweisers, right? You got Bud Light, right? That's that's one side of the business. We're going at this from a different approach. We're going at in a sort of a healthier way to approach it. It's low calorie, but it tastes good. What is give me the advantages of the lemon again? Because now you started getting into the Spain connection, people mixing lemonade with their beer, but there was a lot of sugar. So walk me through the benefit of the lemon. Is it the taste? Is it, what's the advantage there? Why is Whole Foods picking this up as opposed to something else?
Because we start with all natural ingredients. The lemon is 100% natural. Unlike all the other sweeteners that you get into other drinks, they're using an artificial lemon flavoring. Ours is 100% natural. We've got certifications which we had to provide for good eggs. They are an all organic website. Our product is not 100% organic, but the products we use are all certified as natural. And that was good enough for them to say, you're onto something. This tastes better than anything I've ever tasted. And let's go with it.
Are there any lemon or lime flavored? I mean, there are some lime flavored beers out there now, correct?
Well, they use an artificial lime or lemon flavor. I've never seen one that's 100% natural, because you don't see them in, Good Eggs or Whole Foods or.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, and I was a beer drinker for many years, and I don't even drink anymore, but I love the Corona. And what do people do? They pop that lime in the Corona. Why? It gives it a fresh, beautiful taste, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think the concept of where you've gone is that, your people love a great tasting beer, but if you could get a fresh, natural lemon flavor in it, like that kind of adding that lime and that lemon right as you're about to drink it, we've solved that problem. And I think this is the other missing link, is what I always look for: what problem are you solving in the market, right? So I don't know that I heard enough of that from you. I think what I'm looking for is this. Number one, market opportunity. There's great market opportunity, obviously, but don't let me think that the only way you're going to create in the market is to go against Bud Light, because I'm not interested in competing against Bud Light. At the lower end of the market, there's lots of other companies that are coming out with beer products that may be in, is there another company that you can compare yourself to that's not Bud Light, that's more, achievable in terms of getting in a quicker
The only reason why I mentioned Bud Light Lime is because of the mass of the market that they have. I mean, the beer doesn't taste that great, but they're doing over $300 million in annual sales. But more importantly, the craft beer market is over $109 billion. Women.
Okay. So that's good. I want to hear. So Bud Light Lime, it's created a huge market. It's, talk about the sales, talk about the fact that you've got something that you've created that has a much more appealing taste because of the all natural flavors. This is why you're getting the distribution into the Sprouts and the Whole Foods, et cetera, et cetera. And now the target is to grow the business based on that. I want proof of concept, which you've started giving it to me now with your crowdfunding. That's really, between the getting it on a few shelves and getting the crowdfunding, you've started the proof of concept. So I want to hear market opportunity. I want to see proof of concept. And then I think there's one last major thing that you're going to have to overcome, because as an investor, I'm very nervous about somebody starting a brand new beer company going up against the biggest and didn't Anheuser-Busch just get acquired by a bigger company?
Yeah, InBev for $100 billion. But
okay, so you're talking billions with a B here, and so it makes me nervous as an investor, and especially because when you talked about moving it off the shelves, you're like, well, boy, I had to go door to door myself and hope that they might put us in a flyer or something, right? I mean, what I want to know is that you've got a marketing program that once you get it into distribution, you've got a program that you can implement and move it off the shelf. You said getting it on the shelf is half the problem. Moving it off the shelf is the other half. And you can't just leave it up to the retailer to assume that's going to happen, right?
And I like that point.
You said you're doing taste testing and things like that. So, I think I would heavy up on what you're doing to move it off the shelf, because at the end of the day, you can convince some people to take it, to try it, to test it, but it's got to move or you're not going to come back.
Right. And to that point, Leinenkugel is another brand that we compare ourselves to, because it's a nice flavored lemon shandy, which people are saying, is this a radler, is it a shandy? And we say, yeah, it's something similar to that, but there's definitely no sugar. So it's sugar-free. It won't spike your glycogen if you're diabetic, which is great. But the way definitely want to move it off the shelf as marketing and promotion. And there's a company that just sold. It's a very large tequila, and I'm very good friends with the people behind that, and they have mentioned that they definitely want to partner with us. So I think having partners behind that have been in this space, that have built and sold companies, is crucial, and that is a big thing. What we're doing, we're partnering with these big companies to help us, give us their Rolodex, and say, "Hey, how could you help?" But the best part is when they taste it, they're like, "This is the best beer I've ever tasted. How can I help you?"
So will you get what's the likelihood of that deal coming together?
Very likely.
I think that is the missing link to, your ability to get good funding. You're talking about doing a $5 million raise. You put that deal, you get that deal signed, and now you've got an investor that's going to come on board. Okay. Because right now, I like you look, you guys have hustled. You raised 235,000 friends and family. You raised $100,000 through crowdfunding. You've got a little bit of proof of concept. You got into some stores. Your sales are $43,000 in $1 $100 billion industry. I mean, more than that, but $100 billion sale that just occurred in the industry, right? So it's a very, it's a major undertaking, and I would want to know that you've got somebody that is like this. They're a distributor, you mentioned, right? This other player that you might have.
No, they exited their company, but we do have some distributors that are rock stars. We just launched with a group out of Sacramento, California. They're the second largest Lagunitas distributor in the nation, and they brought us on saying, "You're onto something. We want to bring this." And they're in 22 counties. The week before that, we went to Oregon, Portland, and in 2 days, we opened 30 new accounts, one of them being Whole Foods.
Okay. So I think one of the key things that you should focus on also is the marketing plan that you have to move the product off the shelf. And I'll give you an example. I'm involved with another beverage company. It's called Celsius. It's a 12-ounce can. It's an energy drink that's healthy energy. And we started out, this company was doing a few $1 million in sales. Not, you're in the hundreds of thousands of dollar level. They were doing a few million, but we got it into stores, but we were doing massive taste testing and public relations and getting on local TV shows. And we had this huge marketing program and we went region by region. We didn't try to go nationwide, and we had this regional rollout. And so we had a very powerful local marketing program, and we took it and we got it we started in Florida, where I'm from. And as it started in Florida, getting in and then moving out, getting in, moving out. As the sales increased, we're doing a little Pandora radio and some other things. As these sales increased, then we were able to we raised 10 million. Then we did another tranche at 30 million. And today we have a $300 million company.
Wow, that's great.
This happened over a 3 to 4 year period of time. But we were very focused on the marketing plan to get the product sold through, because you said half the problem is getting it on the shelf. I'm going to tell you that's about 30% of the problem. 70% is moving it off the shelf.
Right.
Okay. And so, as an investor, I probably would not be an investor today for something like this, but you're very close to where I might be. And so what I'd want to see is some of these distributor deals that you're working on, some of the deals that you've used in Whole Foods. And, look, I know you guys launched this, and I admire an entrepreneur like yourself that said, I put it in my car, in my truck, and I delivered it myself by hand to get this thing rolling, right? So I'm impressed by that, but I'm also, as an investor, it makes me nervous that I want to see systems, distribution, contracts, distributors, and movement through marketing plans that make it sort of automatic. Okay. So I'm just going to say that this is why crowdfunding is a good way to keep going. Get that 100, make it 200, focus on that, get 300, start taking marketing programs locally, build locally, regionally, etc. And I'm going to say that this is the kind of business, because I have one other business that I'm involved with beverage wise. It's a product it's called gel shots. And these are gel-based liquor shots. And we're doing very similar distribution to what you're doing by getting liquor distributors one by one and setting up massive marketing programs in order for them to see sell through. And then they're ordering 10 times, 20 times, even 50 times the next order they're coming in with. So it's a very exciting opportunity, but you're just this close to being able, in my mind, to getting more the solid kind of investors. And I'm going to wish you good luck. And maybe we can revisit this conversation in about 60 days when you might have some more news for me as an investor. I might be interested. So I'm thinking that maybe there's some investors listening to us right now that are out there that might be interested in taking the shot with you before you get to that point that this becomes a bankable venture, so to speak.
Right. Well,
okay?
We got one piece of news I didn't update you with. We met with, you there?
I'm here.
The San Jose Sharks. At the SAP
you did what?
We met with the San Jose Sharks at
Oh,
the SAP
okay.
Center. We tasted them on the product, and they said, how would you like to be the premier beer at every NHL hockey game?
Wow.
So that just takes, obviously, money on our end, but we've got that opportunity with Aramark, which is one of the largest catering companies.
How much is that going to cost you?
We got a quote from $280,000 a year all the way up. And then I said, look, that's option A and B. Where's option C and D? Like, give me a small, pouring station with maybe the BMW lounge. We don't need an entire stadium.
Yeah.
But he did say that if you're associated with the San Jose Sharks and with the color, they said this will hockey stick your sales like crazy.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you need a shark to negotiate against the Sharks.
Yeah, right?
Huh?
Yeah, but
well, listen,
having someone like you who's an influencer, and that's what we need, and that's why you're doing so wonderful in the other companies, is people know who you are and they want to take that. They want to take that risk. With us, the risk is this. Yeah, we're an early stage company, but our momentum is so much so with these distributors that they're on board. So we're hoping to do some big things with them. It just takes a little bit of money for sales and marketing.
Hey, let me tell you what I want to do for you. I want to be able to help you with the crowdfunding because you're already at $100,000. Let's put together. I'll do a post for you guys that you could throw out there because with crowdfunding you got to keep updating the people and all of that. And we can talk about how you pitch the shark, and the shark is going to throw a shout out. And let's try to get that crowdfunding momentum rolling for you. So, we're doing this interview right now for Investors Pitch Live, Pitch Investors Live. But I want to also give you a shout out for your crowdfunding. So I'm doing that because I like your entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm saying to you, I'm not going to be an investor today, but if we can get some momentum going, maybe we can turn this thing around and I can end up being part of your team.
That would be great. I appreciate it. I thank you so much for your time. We're having a lot of fun with this project.
Hey, Robert, congratulations on being an entrepreneur. You're getting close and I'm excited. Thank you for coming to Pitch Investors Live. This is the place where people meet the sharks. They meet investors, they pitch them, they get a chance to weather the storm and You know, I'm happy to see that you've made some progress and you're getting close. So thanks for being here today, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care. Hope to hear from you soon. But I'm going to get you that shout out. Go back to Pitch Investors Live so we can coordinate that. You're going to have a shout out in video by me. It'll take a few days. Can't get it to you this afternoon, but we'll get cranking on it. What I want to get is a link sent back to me of your crowdfunding site. You guys did a video there? You have a video on that?
We sure do.
Okay, great. So make sure that I get a link sent to me of Pitch Investors Live back sent to me. Okay,
you got
buddy?
it. And signing off.
All right, man. Great talking to you.
Much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
That was funny.